Welcome to the new regular series on my channel called Gaming News, where I'm gonna be talking about news from a world of gaming. Who the fuck would have thought? Anyway, what's different about this new format compared to my regular content? Basically, at the end of every month, I put out a short episode up to 5 minutes with a few most interesting news from that specific month. Usually 3 or sometimes maybe more things I found interesting or relevant for my channel, while not being big enough to make a standalone video about them. So I hope you guys like it. As always, you can leave your favorite ones down in the comments and let's get started. Let's start with the biggest one in today's video. DICE is currently working on a new Battlefield game. Though I was very skeptical when I first heard about it, after watching a teaser they put out on YouTube a couple of weeks ago, I have to say this doesn't look bad at all. Most recent game from the series is Battlefield 2042 from 4 years ago, and let's be honest, the game is not a big success. In fact, its launch was a complete disaster. It was nice of them to put out the gameplay demo first. I remember playing it back in the day, but it still didn't convince me to spend €60 on a game with no single player campaign and very average multiplayer experience, of course full of microtransactions. The EA bullshit is strong with this one. However, it looks like they're trying to learn a lesson with the new Battlefield 6. There is no actual trailer yet, but according to DICE, it should be a next step in the evolution of the series, with multiple dev teams working on a game and a single player campaign as a main focus. They also share with us some pre-alpha footage of the gameplay. It's more like an engine test, doesn't show anything like special, but it looks pretty cool. By the way, the man in charge of the development is Vince Zampella, one of the founders of Respawn. This guy worked on Titanfall and Apex Legends before, so if someone can make Battlefield great again with the right resources, it's probably him. They also announced a really cool program called Battlefield Labs. Basically, you'll be able to join a Discord server and get a chance to participate in some playtests and provide community feedback. They specifically said they want the players to be a part of development, so this one could be a deciding factor as well. Personally, I was never a huge Battlefield player, I'm more of a COD guy. However, I spent some time on Battlefield 4 back in the day, and I like the game, so I can see this one being fun if it goes back to the roots. You're getting a new Among Us game, and it's 3D! Yes, you heard it. Inner Slot, the dev team of original Among Us that had a massive success few years back, are working on kind of a remake, with the biggest change of course being a switch to the first-person gameplay, along with some new features such as new minigames, new modes, crossplay, and the best one for me, the proximity chat. So you can finally yell random Amogus brain rot at your friends during the game and scare the shit out of them. The core gameplay is pretty much the same, of course with the UI being completely different since it's a first person now. For example, doing tasks or hiding in a vent as an imposter looks super fucking cool, not gonna lie. You can watch a short teaser trailer on YouTube, or you can play the demo version on Steam yourself to test how the actual gameplay is going to feel. I tried yesterday and I have to say, it's fun. On top of that, the game is supposed to have a VR support, so I can imagine being sus in 3 dimensions and in VR as well could be quite an experience. It appears it's gonna be a completely new standalone game, which I don't really like to be honest, because I already spent money on the original one. I think it should have been more like an extension if you own the classic. But I don't think they would go super high with the price, we'll have to see about that. Regardless, it looks like a really fun way to revive this certified hood classic, so I can't wait for this game to be Among Us. Overwatch might be back. This is an unexpected one. I've already talked about Overwatch 2 struggling to maintain its player base. At the time it was a relevant discussion, especially with Marvel Rivals' burst of popularity after its launch. I even have an entire video on my channel about this. Well, Blizzard's response was a new season released around a week ago, with a massive amount of new features. Although the release of the new hero is delayed to season 16, that's a big sad. But we still got plenty of new things, like new game modes, new ranked rewards, the good old 6v6, new maps, perk system, loot boxes. Wait, loot boxes? This isn't good, is it? I mean, it's clear that Blizzard is desperate and trying to milk as much money as possible. Huh? I never thought I'm gonna say something like this, but the loot boxes are back and it's a good thing. If it wasn't clear until now, the new loot boxes are not a gambling mechanic. It's a free reward, you can get it out of the battle pass or by completing weekly challenges, and they're not available to buy in a store with real money. I still can't believe this one's true. I'm installing Overwatch right now to check it out. I think we can all agree that these changes are long overdue, but at the same time, players are jumping back on board and actually like it. When was the last time you've seen people like Overwatch? It's been a while. I've recently seen this trend across the gaming industry, whether it's Overwatch or Apex recently making at least some positive changes. I'll definitely make a video about both games where I'd really get deeper into this thing, but it seems like the studios, devs and publishers might be finally waking up and realizing that the cheap ass skins and boring gambling shit won't make them as much money as they would like to, and finally understand that the players' requirements are somewhere else completely. We want actual fun content. We need to see the game being actually taken care of, instead of brainless cheap milking of every single cent from something most of the player base don't give a fuck about. I think Overwatch proved that it's still capable of doing something cool with the potential to get players interested. How much they're able to hold on to it in the future, that's something we'll have to see. And that's it for February gaming news. Let me know down in the comments how do you like this format, or some changes you'd like to make, and also what are you most excited about from this video. If you have any other interesting gaming news yourself, don't forget to share it with all of us. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.